And welcome back to our Open Your Eyes conversation for today. If you're joining us right now, we are talking all about Women's Month, Paul.
Yeah.
And in to talk to us about the festivities and the activities for the month of March is none other than representatives from the Women's Department. And we have joining us, no stranger to the show, Miss Eleanor Murillo, who is the program officer at the National Women's Commission. And joining us is a special guest, Apostle Suzette Massiah from the Merirh Ministries.
Yes.
Did I get it?
Yes,
Did I
you got it. You got
Awesome. Welcome, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. March, Women's Month. You're all dressed in your lovely floral purple to represent. I never get it, Memo. So I know that there's going to be different organizations collaborating with the National Women's Commission and so forth. But let's talk about what the National Women's Commission has been doing to uplift women. I want to get into the theme of Women's Month and then, of course, the collaboration with Merirh.
Okay, well, the National Women's Commission is a policy advisory body to government on issues of gender equality, equity, and women's empowerment. We're also responsible for the monitoring of the National Gender Policy and the National Gender-Based Violence Action Plan. And we even have a social and behavior change communication strategy that goes along with the plan. And so you asked what we have been doing in terms of engaging women and girls, men and boys. We do that throughout the year. We continue to hold sessions, empowering sessions, for women and girls, especially as it relates to gender issues, gender-based violence, the law, what is there for them, because we find out that people really don't know what is in the law, what are their rights, and how to access services. So those have been our main focus. So we have engaged people at the community level and also at organizational level. Like we just had a session with the shadow councillors of the Belize City Council, you know, and other organizations. And, you know, those sessions are very powerful in terms of the feedback we get from the participants, the information that they didn't know or things they took for granted, you know. So, yeah, we have been doing that throughout the year. And so now in January, we began our planning. We put the committee together that is made up of government and NGOs and faith-based organizations. And we plan, we really discuss what are some of the issues, what do we want to focus on for Women's Month. Women's Month have to be purposeful and impactful for women and girls and the wider community.
Going into Women's Month, when we look back at the years past, how have we as a country, as communities, progressed over the years to now in 2023 when it comes to the women issues, girl issues with girls, the rights, etc.? How have we progressed?
I believe all the education, all the awareness, all the partners who work in the community, they have been doing a good job in terms of raising awareness and, you know, providing accurate information to women and girls how to access services and especially their rights. So now we find that people are more confident, they are more outspoken, you know, and that is what we want, that they are able to express themselves and say this is not right, or I need this service and so on. So while we still have a lot of issues in terms of the way we are socialized, you know, if we go way back to grandparents and what they taught us, and then our parents and what they taught us, and now, because what we teach in this session is that gender changes, the socialization process changes, it does not remain the same. Things that a woman couldn't have done 30, 50 years ago, they're able to do so now. You know, and so those are the type of conversations that we have.
How does that incorporate the theme of embrace equity for this month of March?
It does, and I am glad that the committee, because we didn't choose it on our own, I am glad that the committee say, listen, we have a whole month to work, you know, and so embrace equity is so appropriate because equity stands for fairness. It's ensuring that the most vulnerable are the people that we look at to get what they're supposed to get. You know, and it can start with you as an individual, your community, duty bearers and policy makers, and it go all the way up. and even the faith-based organization. So we thought, you know, it's
Yeah.
just appropriate for Embrace Equity to be the entire team for Women's Month.
As you brought it up in collaborating with faith-based organization, which brings me to Apostle Suzette. How did this collaboration come about with Merirh's Ministries and the National Women's Commission?
Well, I have been a member of the organization for a while.
Okay.
And after 2 years with the corona, and I was out of the country, and now I'm back. And I am willing to do my part to help in the faith-based area in our community.
How, in what ways do you see faith impacting and empowering the women of this country?
First and foremost, the women has to know their identity and know their purpose. In knowing your purpose and to know that they are beautiful and they are fearfully made. If a woman do not know who they are, they will be vindicated by anybody else. But if they can look in the mirror and say, and know that I am beautiful, then that says a lot. But sometimes women go through these things from broken homes, single parents, abuse, and they don't know who they are, so they settle for less in their lives. And what we do as faith-based and what pastors do, we encourage women to let them know that they are unique, they are special, and they have a purpose in life.
I think it's interesting to note just staying on the faith base, because I know that we'll kick off Women's Month with an event at the Bliss.
Yes.
But I just want to mention, I think it's important to note how faith-based institutions themselves have grown,
Yes.
where women and women in leadership
Yes.
and those issues are concerned. Because when we look back, it was frowned upon to
Yes.
have women in leadership like yourself as an
Of course.
apostle and as a leader. Talk a bit about how that has grown and what has led to that growth.
Well, it has, you know, being a pastor and then being an apostle, you will have challenges, especially from men that are pastors. But what the challenges do, and we as women have to encourage one another, strengthen, pray, seek God, and try to empower each other in our gifts and in our talents.
Yeah.
We're talking about bringing this faith-based approach and a holistic approach at that
Yes.
into the activities for Women's Month. What are some of the ways that you as an apostle would use to inspire young girls to care for themselves, love themselves? What kind of activities and so forth can we expect?
Okay, the first activity you would do is inviting them, feeding them. It's like my ministry started when 7 children came and said they were hungry. And I prepared food in my kitchen. And after that, 2 of them looked at me and said, "Miss, you let me feel so special."
Wow.
Because here you had children that don't know what they would eat in the morning. And when that happened, I said, God, I can't deal with this. Because children is another grace upon grace to deal with children. And I went before God, and God told me, he said, Abrahamic blessings, and this is the year of the children. And I felt liquid love came over me for these children. So with young girls, the first thing is to feed, to know where they have been abused, know where they have education-wise, because we want the young women of today to be women, we can be trailblazers for them, that they can be doctors, nurses, lawyers, in knowing that they can do it.
Yeah.
So the basic part of it is getting to know them. In getting to know them and to know the struggles that each individual go through, because each one go through different struggles. To know the struggles, to be able to help in some area where the struggle is, and that's where it starts.
Okay, so let's talk about this weekend. That's where we'll start with Women's Month, and I know you'll play an important role in that, your ministry. So let's start there. What can we expect for this weekend as we launch Women's Month?
Okay, this weekend, I collaborated with Special Envoy, and we will be having an ecumenical service at the Bliss at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And God gave me the vision, and He told me to, the theme is my value is far more than rubies. And this is to let women know that you are beautiful, you have worth, you are a leader, you have identity. And what happened, I reached out to other pastors, female pastors from different churches, and they were all excited to be a part of it.
Wow.
So we'll have the Catholic, the Methodist, the Adventist, all these women. And what these women will do, like I said, the Lord gave me the vision. Each one will portray a woman in the Bible and said the life then and the life now. So as a stepping stone for what God is about to do in our nation for women, to know that they have the opportunity to stand, to be a voice out there. And not, there could be some pastors in there growing up that they can know it's not only being pastoral, but also by trade, I'm a beautician.
Okay.
I'm a cosmetologist. So not only being a pastor, being the lawyer, being the chef, whatever it is in life, once you set your goals, you'll be able to do it.
So you're kicking off Women's Month with this event that is going to bring women together to make them their best version of themselves through a spiritual approach, a holistic approach. And that is going to be this Sunday,
This Sunday.
the 26th. With that kicking off Women's Month and with our theme of embracing equity, Ms. Merirh, talk to us about the other events that are going to be scheduled on the calendar.
So one of the things that the committee discussed was really, like I said, what are the issues that are affecting women, and what came up, women and girls, and what came up was mental health. So there will be a lot of mental health sessions and opportunities for women and girls to be a part of. The holistic approach, mind, body, and spirit. We'll have physical, like the police department. They are bringing everybody together to do a walk, as a part of health. And then we have other sessions, other empowering sessions, talking about the law, talking about, like you said, where we were and where we are now in terms of women and girls, the status of women and girls in our country. So there will be many sessions across the country, many educational sessions. We have all the libraries across the country are having activities, the women's department, the police department, BFLA, YWCA, YES, all these organizations, and the faith-based organization that is also a part of Women's Month. So our calendar should come out before the month end, and so we can share it with everyone. And so each day they will see in their district what are some of the activities that they can participate in. One of the big activities we have for Women's Month is the Women's Awards. That's where organization, government, NGO, businesses can award an outstanding woman. And so we have this nice, elegant you know, a nice elegant event where women from all over the country come and they're awarded, and we, you know, we have this nice ceremony for them. So that's on the 23rd of March.
Wow.
And so we're inviting government, NGOs, businesses to select your outstanding woman and be a part of our national awards.
What efforts have been made to establish support groups for women at the community level? And I ask that because a lot of times these events during Women Month, they're almost at a national level. We invite women from around the country. But when the month is over, you go back home, and most of the times your issues, the situation, the challenges you deal with, they're concentrated within the home, they're concentrated within your community, and one might want to argue that there isn't a lot of space available within communities for women to gather and share their issues and seek the necessary support where let's say on Wednesday night, we go to this one location where I could just pour out and I could let out and get help from my sister, neighbor, or from somebody down the street. And without that, you would want to imagine that because of that gap, it leaves room for more bickering within the community and less unity. So a community approach, what has been done towards that end?
Well, one of the interesting things, beside we have the Gender Advocates Program, where you have persons within communities, especially rural communities, who are trained, and so they are the focal points within their district. In the event a woman have any issues, need advice, need to know where to go, and so on, then that person have that know-how, and hopefully we get to expand that program. However, with the sessions that we have been doing, like you rightly say, women come up and say, you know, we're so happy that we had the opportunity to talk or to hear certain things that we never know. And so what we want to do for them is to say, okay, so this cannot stop here. So the last sessions we had all the ladies, all the groups that we met with, to say, okay, so what is your plan after this? How can we support you? And then they list. And so one of the groups, Share Belize, it's a new empowerment group, and it's countrywide. We had women from all over the country come, and they left us with a plan. They say we need more training so that we're equipped to help our communities. And so that's one of the steps. And so that is what we want to do, to empower these groups so that they can then go out and spread the message of empowerment. Our women and girls are hurting. We are a very traumatized nation, and so, you know, whenever we have these sessions, you know, the feedback that the ladies come one-on-one and say, you know what, you really inspired me, or I'm glad that you said that, or, you know, I did not know that this was where I can go to get services. I did not know we had places to get counseling. I did not know that I can apply for certain things within the court system, and so on and so forth. So it's really building on the ones that we already have. So how can we build to ensure that they stay together, they get the capacity training that they need, and then they spread out in their communities, and we continue to support these organizations. So there are many smaller groups that are coming up now, people who are saying, I want to make a difference in my community. And
I just wanted quickly just to continue on that same topic to ask Apostle Suzette about the role and responsibility of faith-based organization within the communities, because perhaps that's an avenue.
Yes.
Because when we talk about community levels, there are
Across
churches
the
across
board.
communities,
Yeah.
Yes.
small communities. Sometimes you have 5, 6 churches, but are these faith-based communities trained? Are they being as impactful as they can be in not only receiving women, but also addressing their needs and issues? And how can we grow on that?
Yes. Well, so far, what I can say, it needs to grow.
Yeah.
Because it's not only we are supposed to go out and reach and see the women, go into the homes, and see what is the problem and deal with the issues that the women are facing.
Yeah.
And I have been doing it in my area, but it's not about what I am doing. It's across the board, as you said, the whole country, because we as leaders, we are looked on to do our part in the community as faith-based leader to do our part also in the country.
Indeed.
Yes.
How can we, as women, uplift each other? So I'm getting this training. I'm doing all of the necessary activities and training to heal from my trauma.
Yeah.
But how can I extend that courtesy to other women?
Like I told the women that we engage over the weekend, each one teach one.
Yes.
You said you learned so much from this session. You are
Yes.
hurting. A lot of these women are hurting. You know, but if you know what you got from the session and you have your notes, you know what you learned, then you can share that with somebody else. You know, there are a lot of misconceptions in the communities and that are not accurate. Like, for example, you would hear, oh, the family court is only for women. I told the group, and there were men there as well, I said, anyone, all human beings have the same rights according to our law.
That's
So whatever one can apply for, the next one can apply for. So we need to get rid of this. You need to educate yourself. All the laws, they're online now. You have your phone, you have some data. You Google Families and Children's Act or the Domestic Violence Act or the Married Persons Protection Act, and you see what is in there for you.
Yeah.
You know, so when you're going through whatever, you're already equipped to know, okay, these are my rights, this is what I can do, and so on. In terms of faith-based, this last year, we engaged faith-based leaders, the males. And it was not very pretty, the things coming out of their mouth.
Was it?
It was not very pretty.
When you say that, is it because of the state of perspective, or they didn't
whole
want to engage in the
The whole
activity?
stigma of gender,
Okay.
you know, because in their mind, gender, we always have hidden agendas. Gender is male and female. Gender is our socialization. It's how we are socialized, what we believe, how society puts us in a box and say, this is how you're supposed to behave as a male, this is how you're supposed to behave as a
Which is not
female. So
accurate.
some of the things coming out of their mouth were like, so the next day I told our president, you know what, let's engage the female church leaders.
Yeah.
And we had a room full of women, pastors and other leaders within the church, and it was totally different session.
So comparing last year's Women's Month and the activities and the trainings that you were giving, how does this year stand out? What are we doing differently this time around?
This year we're engaging everybody.
You're engaging
We're
everybody.
leaving no one behind.
Yes.
And we want men as champions as well to
Yes.
celebrate with women and the achievement of women. You know, we are not anti-men. We are, you know, coming from the faith-based perspective. We want families to stay together. We want healthy and strong families. So
Yes.
this is not just a woman. It's
No.
it's, you know, when a woman is healed, healthy, and whole, she have a stronger family.
Yep.
Yes.
You know,
That's true.
and happier children and so on.
Yes.
And so it's not just about the woman and anything again. It's about how can we build Belize with healthier and
Yes.
stronger families,
All right,
because
well-
it's broken.
Apostle Suzette, Ms. Murillo, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
We
Yes.
want to thank you both for coming on this morning and discussing this important topic. And I just feel driven. I feel driven by your passion,
Thank
your
you.
advocacy, and the
Yes.
events coming up. So I could only imagine how driven the women that participate in these activities and
Yes.
events will be after that. And I would hope that it moves beyond Women Month in
Definitely.
March to the
Definitely.
rest of the
Throughout the
year.
year.
But
Yes.
thank you so much. Final thoughts from both of you?
Well, I must say that this is a stepping stone for what God wants to do in us individually, in families, in the community, and also this nation. Because here we have women from different denominations coming together because we are serving one God. And I know that this event that will kick off with the other events, because I will be having a women conference on the 25th of March, which will be at Gateway, and the theme of the conference is beauty from ashes. Beauty from ashes. And I'm inviting women to come out. It will be dynamic. I know it will be life-changing for them. But after saying all this, we as a people have to make the first step.
Indeed.
We have to be able to serve, which is serving each other and serving our country.
Perfect.
So it's all about service.
Perfect.
It's not about I as an apostle, another one as a pastor, Miss Murillo in her organization. It's not about the titles. It's about our service.
Correct.
So I just want to encourage those that are watching that this event that will kick off is a service that each one of us is doing to bring a change to our nation, Belize.
Ms. Merirh, final
Wonderful.
thoughts?
To piggyback on what Apostle said, which is she so eloquently said, I'm all for that, mind, body, and spirit. We need to start with ourselves. I'm tired of having all these wonderful teams and commemoration, and like she said, it needs to come from the heart, from the individual. If we really want change, then it starts with each and every one of us. That's the only way we'll see change. And so, ladies, we have so many activities for the entire Women's Month. Get involved and be a part of what's going on, mind, body, and spirit, for a wonderful Women's Month, and it will continue throughout the year.
Wonderful. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Apostle. Thank you, Miss Murillo, for
Welcome.
coming
Thank you
in.
too.
We're purple for the month of
Yes,
March. That
purple
is
is
the
the
color for Women's Month. And we wish you the best of luck with the activities.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
with that, we are going to take a short break, and we'll be back with our final conversation, which involves special education and UNICEF. You don't want to miss that. Stay tuned.